Welcome to lab number 8. Today's experimental topic is Bernoulli's analysis. The equipment used in this experiment are the arm field F110 pump and the arm field F115 Bernoulli's theorem demonstrator. The experiment will be done observing the section has a 21-degree tapered section converging in the direction of the flow. The system is not configured in that flow orientation. So firstly, we would pull the probe out. Then we would release these couplings. Then we would turn the test section around. Retighten these couplings. And at this point, we would have the 21-degree tapered section converging in the direction of the flow. The F115 Bernoulli's demonstrator has a series of wall tappings that enables measurements of static pressure. A total head tube is provided to traverse to take readings at the different tappings. Now that our section has been turned around, it's now very important to observe that H1 is now here and H6 would now be here. So while taking readings with the probe, we would observe H1 at this location and we'd traverse through to H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. The experiment will be done at 3 different flow rates. First at a high flow rate, and then at a medium flow rate, and finally at a low flow rate. We would observe the manometer readings from H1 to H6, and also we would observe our total head reading with the probe. Now that the system is set at a high flow rate, we would verify this flow rate by releasing the ball valve to allow collection in the volumetric tank. Then we would observe the volume collected over time. We would observe the volume collected over no less than 60 seconds. So 10 liters over 60 seconds. Now let's proceed to take data readings at a high flow rate. So at H1, we are at 215, H2, 150, and H3, 60, H4, 44, H5, 31, and H6, 295. We will now observe our total head reading with our probe. So at H1, it's 237. At H2, pressure is rising. Let's give it some time. It's 290. And at H3, it's 290. And at H4, it's 290. And at H5, it's 300, and at H6, it's 300. Now let's reduce the flow rate, and as you can observe, the manometer levels will be decreasing. And of course, we would verify our flow rate by using the volumetric tank along with a stopwatch. After we have verified our flow rate, we would then proceed to take H1 to H6 readings. H1 would be 155, H2 would be 136, H3 would be 122, and H4 would be 120, and H5 would be 118, and H6 would be 182. We would then observe our total head readings with our probe. H1 being 160. The pressure is going up. Let's give it some time to stabilize. And H2 would be 175. H3 would also be 175. H4 175. And H5, the pressure is going up. Let's give it some time to stabilize. H5 would be 180, and H6 would be 182. Now for our final readings, we would decrease the flow to a low flow rate, and you'll observe the manometer levels going down. So at our low flow rate, we would read the manometers at the low flow rate from H1 to H6. Then we would go to our total head probe and read our total head readings H1 to H6. At this point, we would have 3 data readings at a high flow rate, medium flow rate, and a low flow rate. The experiment is now concluded. If you have any questions, feel free to contact your professor, Dr. Whitworth.